Hey everybody, my name is Chris Cellino. Welcome to this short tutorial presented by GCentral on getting going with Git and GCentral. I have the pleasure of being joined by my fellow board member from GCentral, Francois Normandin, and I could never pronounce your last name right. But we're going to be spending just, like I said, 5 or 10 minutes going over doing some Git stuff with GCentral, since GCentral is all about collaboration, and the community can actually help develop the GCentral website. So I'm going to, so first things first, here's the goals in this presentation. We're going to talk about how to fork the GCentral repository, and then how to do a branch, how to make an edit, then how to merge and submit a pull request. And hopefully we can do all of that inside, 10 minutes. We'll see. The software that I'm showing off is, I'm using SourceTree 3.3.8, but you can use any Git client that you're comfortable with. And all of this is being done inside of VMware 15.5.2. And of course, we're using the LabVIEW 2020 Community Edition. So now let me swap over to, and hopefully this works, my virtual machine. And you should be seeing gcentral.org right now. Yeah. So here's the workflow. Let's imagine that I want to make an edit to GCentral. You go to the GitHub repository and go to the website. And then here is our wiki. And this is thanks to Francois and Quentin Aldridge. They've done a fantastic job on putting this content together. And we're going to talk through, setting up the dev environment. So I have my virtual machine set up. There's some tips and tricks on how to do that, how to create your initial VM software to install. And this is where we're going to pick things up. So this is getting the GCentral repository. And we start with this notion of a fork. And Francois, can you give us just a brief summary, or what is a fork?
So yeah, sure. A fork is just a way to make a copy of a repository onto your own workspace. And that will allow you to have full administrative access to the code, just like you're the publisher. Make all the changes you want, develop, and then at the end, well, we'll talk about this, but using a pull request, try to get that back into GCentral.
Fantastic. So I hover over fork, and where should we fork it? Yep, this is my own repository, and so I select it. And here we're forking. Great, it should only take a few seconds. Famous last words. Fantastic. So here we are in my repository now, /website. You'll notice this is not GCentral. This is my own personal one. So long as I stay in here, I can't harm anything. Now I'm going to go over to my Git client. This is SourceTree. And I have my GitHub right here. And if I hit refresh, look, this is the thing that I just forked. So now I would like to clone this. Okay, and you can put this wherever you would like. I'm going to put this in git/gcentral/website. But again, you can put this anywhere you'd like. And I say clone. How are we doing so far, Francois? Is this the right workflow?
Yeah, it is.
Excellent. Okay, great. So here we are inside of SourceTree. This is actually all the commits that have been made. And now there are some best practices around doing Git. Very rarely, if ever, would you ever want to make your edits inside of the master. Is that right, Francois?
Yes, the problem in here, if you do make commits to your master, and that's perfectly fine on your own machine, but if you ever want to pull more changes from GCentral that have been made in master while you were working on your local copy, that's going to cause a little bit of a problem.
All right. So what's really cool is there's this post you've got right here, and it shows a way of doing branching. Right now we have master, but I don't want to do all of my edits inside of master for the reasons that Francois just said. So I'm going to create a branch, and the goal is to upcompile GCentral's backend to LabVIEW Community Edition 2020. So I'm going to make a branch, make the edits, and then we're going to make a pull request from that branch. All right, so first things first, you can see that master is what's selected right here. So I want to make a branch. And I'm going to call this development or dev underscore 2020 upcompile underscore upcompile. And then I create a branch. Okay, fantastic. So I know that I'm on this branch as opposed to master because right now it's highlighted. And we can see under the file status, well, there are no changes inside of here. Well, let's fix that. All I'm going to do is mass compile the GCentral repository. So let's go find that. And it's the web services, and I say current folder. Oh, that's a bug of LabVIEW. I've always wondered about that. Anyways, current folder, and I say mass compile. And thankfully, this doesn't take but maybe 20 or 30 seconds, if that. So, side note, when you sync down, or when you pull down GCentral, you have to apply the VIPC file, which Matthias Boudot put in place for us. And the VIPC file lets us apply a couple of VI packages. So it's all the VI packages dependencies necessary to use GCentral. It turns out there's just one, and I think it's a JSON toolkit. Anyways, so great. Looks like our mass compile is done. And now, swap back to file status. Here are all the changes that have been made. So all of these were upcompiled. So I'd like to stage all of those. And I say, all right, this is, we're going to add some comments. This is the upcompile for the GCentral. Francois, do you have any, I guess, kind of best practices or ideas on comments? Like what makes for a good comment or a bad comment?
It really depends. It's something that is, I think, more personal to a team of developers. Some people, purists, will say, "Well, you should only say what you've changed and don't put your humor in there," or or work in progress. Like we see that often with some people in my team where WIP and I'm committing. So this is more like, okay, you should stage your files while you're working on them so that you keep them into the repository safe and sound.
Right.
But
well,
yeah.
we at least want some description there as opposed to did stuff.
Exactly. So we want to know what are the changes. Normally, you would aim to do very atomic changes, like, okay, I've fixed this bug and it applies to 5 VIs. Well, don't recompile everything. Just commit those 5 VIs.
Right.
In this case, we're recompiling everything. Obviously, everything is going to go in there.
So we can see all
one thing that I really like to do before you hit commit, I like to add a note in the commit log about the issue that we are trying to fix here. And so if we have something written on our GitHub issues list right there, if you go into the
this is mine. I need to go back.
Oh, yes.
GCentral. So
exactly. So in the issues, there's probably something about upcompiling, right? So that's the number 25. So I like to say, feature column, semicolon 25 or something like that, or just to, give a reference. There you go.
Okay. So here we go. I'm going to check push changes immediately to, and it should say dev underscore 20. I don't know whether nothing is showing up here. Fingers crossed.
So this is something that you could do later, maybe. The push changes is really when you're certain you want to send that to
Good call.
your cloud. And so I would first start to commit and then open in 2020 and see if everything was compiled correctly.
Perfect. By the way, this is all unrehearsed. I'll share with you guys the motivation for us doing this once we're done with the video, but we'll keep on pushing through. So here we go. I'm going to commit, and it is done. So here we see this is my commit to my local repository. So this has only been done on my computer. To Francois's point, this has not been pushed out to the cloud yet. Right, Francois?
Exactly.
Okay. So now I would actually like to, what should I do next? Should I do a push, do you think, or?
Yeah, I think if your workflow here is that you're ready to do, let's say, a pull request to GCentral saying, hey, GCentral, I've implemented this feature that you were talking about, number 25. I've got a code. Please merge that into your branch. But first, I would say before pushing to the cloud, because of the number of VIs that we have there, let's open it in LabVIEW 2020 and see if everything is fine. If you have something broken, we have an opportunity before you ship to the cloud.
That's a good point. So let's just see, where's the main? I forget where that is. It's around. I'm just going to open up a couple VIs.
Yeah, Control L would work.
That is, that's, thank you. Brilliant.
There you go.
Yeah, so it looks like, so Control L is it's asking LabVIEW, are there any broken VIs from this project? And if there were any, they would show up here immediately. Is that right?
Anything in memory will show up there. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so it looks like we're good to go. I dig this. So I'm going to keep LabVIEW open on the side just in case. All right, what do you think we should do next?
Well, we should push to our own cloud.
Okay, so let's do that. I call push, and I'm going to push here, and I say do it. So what this is doing is now transferring the files off of my computer, my local version of source code control, actually up to Git. So if anybody goes to Git now, you should see those changes. And I didn't rehearse this. Let's see. Just for fun, let's see.
In your fork?
Yeah.
Pretty sure now you should have, if you hit the button branch and select on the left, right there you go. So you have a dev 2020. Here it is.
There we go, 3 minutes ago. Check it out. This is the upcompile for the server. Ship it. Sounds great. Okay, so.
All right, now there are two things that you could do here. Either you want to have, if it were your own repository and you're satisfied with your process and that it's ready for production, you would just merge that into your master branch. But in this case, you know that you fork some repository that you don't have the rights to write to master. So if you fork to master and do a push, it won't work. So you will have to use a pull request. And pull request is a way to tell the administrator on the other side, on the other repo, hey, I've got something that you should really pull into your repository. So you can do that. I think there's a way to do that directly from source tree, but the best way is to go on your Git right there and to create a pull request.
So where is that on here? New pull request, right?
There
right.
You go.
So I'm going to say, let's create a new pull request.
And so you see at the top, you've got the base repository, which is GCentral website, and yours on the right. And so you're saying, okay, I want to ship to merge the Dev 2020 upcompile into the master of GCentral.
Very cool.
You would most likely write something there. Like you've done. This is okay.
All right. So I think we're ready. Create it?
Yeah.
Should I do it?
Yeah.
Okay, this is scary. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Now that's it. Review required. Merging is blocked.
All right. Well, this is fantastic. I think that's everything that we were planning on doing.
I think there's only one other part because everything here is blocked. Maybe we should go to the GCentral uh, website, not website, but Git repo, and just show that there's a in the website there should be a pull request now. So you see that at the top, there's a
Whoops.
higher than that.
Ah,
There
yes.
you go. And who's doing that? Oh, look at that,
Uh-huh.
Cristianino.
That guy. We should definitely reject this change. All right. So now at this stage, GCentral would say, all right, it looks like somebody has made a pull request. Ideally, the number of changes is super small so we can evaluate pretty quickly and make that accept into our main branch. Is that right?
Yes, and I would say there's a huge temptation sometimes to say, oh wow, I've got this great feature and I'm certain everybody's gonna love this. You do a pull request and that puts the core developer team into a very uneasy situation where we might have to reject your changes because they're not exactly the way that the community would have liked that. So the best thing is to start by creating an issue, feature requests, discuss it with the rest of the community into these issues exactly on the GCentral website and engage the community and try to classify that and say, hey, I can do that. And then when you're at the point where the community has given input on it and said yes, this is really something that we want, then the pull request is much easier to accept into our main workflow because we know it's well targeted and we know it was something that the community desired. So
Right.
so the review can be on criteria that are actually vetted
Yeah.
up front.
That makes perfect sense. And I think some of that conversation can actually occur inside the tickets themselves, I think. So people can, put information here, or you can go to Lava G and under GCentral, you can start a new thread and say, I have this idea to solve, I'm making this up now, issue 73. Here's my mock-up and here's my design. What does everybody think about that? And then we can actually all start to coordinate our thoughts here, and then maybe even link your thread inside of the pull request so that we can link the conversation with the actual implementation itself. So yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, I think that's everything. So let me swap back to over here, and then we'll wrap this up. So we're going to actually start making a whole entire series of YouTube videos. Hopefully these little small, maybe 5, 10, 15-minute snippets that show you some software development best practices, as well as how you can contribute to GCentral. And you can get to our YouTube channel by going to gcentral.org, scrolling all the way to the bottom, and you just press this button and poof, you'll be at our YouTube channel. All right, that's it. Thanks for attending. I want to remind you, if you're interested in partnering with us in a financial way, please email donate@gcentral.org, or you can go to gcentral.org under the sponsors page and learn all about why you would sponsor and what are some of the benefits. So until next time, take care.